Krishna. My name is Madan Mohini Devi Dasi, and today I will be reciting and explaining Brahma Samhita chapter 5 verse 34. But before I start, I would like to offer my obeisances to Gurudev. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Sarakaya Chakshurun Miditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Pantastu Koti Shatavatsara Sampragamyo Vayoratapi Manaso Muni Pungavana Sopyasti Yat Prapadasimya Vichintya Tatvai Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Some yogis, desiring to attain the supreme absolute truth, who lies beyond the realm of contemplation, follow the path of strictly regulating the breathing process. They advocate the philosophy of reaching the impersonal Brahman. After pursuing these paths for hundreds of millions of years, they may reach only as far as the tips of the toes of his lotus feet. Lord Brahma says, I worship that original personality, Sri Govinda. It is very important to note this point. For a yogi, even meditating thousands of millions of years allows them to only reach the tips of the toes of the Lord's lotus feet. Also, they can only see the effulgence coming from the tip of the toe of the Lord, not even the full toe. The formless effulgence coming from the spiritual body of Krishna is called Brahman. For those yogis, it is impossible to see even the complete effulgence of Sri Govinda. And how is it possible for yogis and jnanis to have a darshan of the Lord when it is astonishing even for premi bhaktas like Narada? The Srimad Bhagavatam describes a story about his visit to Dwarka. Chitram bateitad ekena vapusha yugapad pritak griheshu dvaiyasta sahashram striya eka udavahat. There, Narada Muni saw Lord Krishna being married to the 16,000 different princesses. By seeing Lord Krishna being married at 16,000 different royal palaces, performing different activities, going on in parallel, all at the same time, completely astonished Narada Muni. In one palace, Krishna was offering oblations to the fire sacrifice, and in another palace, he was tying the knot of the Mangal Sutra for a queen, and so on. It is also stated in the Gopala Tapani Upanishad 21, Eko Vasi Sarvagaha Krishna Idyaha Eko Api San Bahuda Yo Vibhati. Sri Krishna is the one supreme controller of all controllers, and he is all-pervading. Although he is one, by the influence of his inconceivable potency, he manifests as incarnations who are his personal expansions, as the living entities who are his separated subjective portions, and as innumerable associates who are his bodily expansions. He is the incomparable and unsurpassed reality. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 33, Verse 3, it is stated, Atmeshvaro Tarkya Sahasya Shakti. Bhagavan alone is the soul of all. He is the controller of all, being equipped with unlimited, inconceivable powers that defy mundane reasoning. But Lord Krishna, the controller of all, can be understood only through pure undivided bhakti. Only pure bhakti has the power to see and understand the real form and activities of the Lord. Just by seeing the tinge of the effulgence coming from the toenail of the Lord, how can we ever think that these yogis have any power to see beyond the Brahman? That is why all the yogis and jnanis are ever stuck and not able to go beyond the effulgence and declare that there is nothing beyond Brahman. They even manufacture their misleading theory that even Bhagavan comes from Brahman. At the same time, how does Krishna's bhakta perceive him? Of course, the bhakta also sees the glaring effulgence. However, he knows the truth and understands that without the mercy of the Lord, no one can see him. So the devotee says, Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham tattvam pushan apavranu satya dharmaya drishtaye. O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. The yogis who aspire to merge into impersonal Brahman are only dissolving themselves. And this is actually spiritual suicide. And Brahman is nothing but the Lord's effulgence. They believe that the merging of themselves into Brahman is the ultimate goal of life. But this is not correct. The ultimate goal of life is to situate yourself in a position of constant devotional service to the Lord. This is achieved only by the mercy of a spiritual master and following the path of pure bhakti. Thank you and Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.